Hey everybody, it's Mike here at over50cycling.com, and today is the episode about recovery. Hey, recovery is very important in any endurance sport, especially in cycling, and a lot of people I don't think really pay it its due. So a lot of the mentality that I see out there from time to time, especially with new cyclists, is this whole notion that, hey, I just got to work, and that's what's going to make me stronger. Well, it really isn't. What makes you stronger is adaptation. So you've got to have this training stress plus some recovery to get that adaptation. And if your training stress is insufficient to overload your body's capabilities, you're not going to get those adaptations. So we're going to talk about three different kinds of recovery, basically ride recovery, active recovery, which you'll be using throughout the year, and recovery weeks. And I just got off a recovery week last week. I was going to make this video then because it was very topical, but hey, life got in the way. So anyway, so that you can encourage this adaptation to training, it's very important to plan recovery activities that are going to reduce your residual fatigue. The further I talked about training blocks. So if you haven't seen the training blocks episode, you need to go back and watch that when you're done here. Basically, the sooner you can recover from fatigue, the fresher you're going to be when you undertake another training session or you move on to a new block. So recovery is very important. So let's talk about ride recovery. So when you're doing, let's just break down this whole training block concept. We've got our 3 weeks of hard work. Well, in there we're going to have we're going to have a lot of work. So we need to recover correctly from that so that we can make it through that 3 weeks and build up a lot of training stress in our systems, so that recovery week is really going to boost our performance. So different kinds of ride recovery you can do. The cool down and stretch. I never hammer on my way home. Well, at least for the last 10 minutes or so, I'm going to do like an easy spin and just cool down. And stretching afterwards helps a lot, and especially if you're a masters athlete, stretching is a must. There's a lot of places where you get tight as you get older because your muscles lose some of their elasticity. And for me, it's the IT band, and that IT band basically goes from your hip down to your knee. It's kind of the sheath that goes basically over your quads. And if I don't stretch that out, I can get pretty miserable. In fact, it can almost feel like I've got a problem with my knee because that IT band is so tight, it's like pulling on my knee. So a good stretching session at least 3 times a week. For a cyclist, especially for a master cyclist, I'll probably go 4 or 5, is very, very important. So after that ride too, you've got that short window of about 20 to 40 minutes roughly. I say sooner the better to get some nutrition in you, and that's a 4-to-1 carb to protein drink. And there's a lot of different drinks out there that you can get that are commercially available. For me, chocolate milk works. I mean, it's got that optimal ratio of carbs to protein. And if you're getting the low fat or the no fat, you're going to get that burst of nutrients heading to your muscles that are going to help get recovery started even faster, and help you get, so that you can perform that next ride. Next thing is proper hydration. A lot of cyclists, I don't think, have a huge problem with this. We drink a lot on the bike. I do see some guys out riding bikes, though, like my brother-in-law, he'll take like 1 water bottle on a 2 or 3 hour ride, and he won't even drink it all. And he comes from a running background, whereas me, I've got like 2 huge water bottles in that 3 hours that I'm drinking. So it's very important. About a 3% decrease in hydration can radically downgrade your performance. So very important to drink, before you get on the bike, while you're on the bike, and after you're on the bike. That proper level of hydration is going to keep blood and fluids moving. And when blood's moving through your muscles, that's when a lot of repair is happening. So the next one is obvious, rest. Hey, read or listen to music, or play on the computer, or watch movies or TV, whatever you like to do. Getting a few hours of rest when you're heavy training is very good. And then, of course, there's proper amount of sleep. 8 hours is pretty much my minimum when I'm training hard. Sometimes I can even sleep 9 hours. I'm lucky enough, with my job, being a writer, that I can come in anytime I want, and I have a little more flexibility. Some other people are going to have to plan this more, but sleep is very, very important for your recovery. Not only your ride recovery, but during your recovery weeks. So make sure you're getting the proper amount of sleep. The next thing we're going to talk about is active recovery. So active recovery is something that you're going to use throughout the year. And I use this. I might have one active recovery day a week before the season. And then during the season, I might have a couple, depending on how hard I'm training. Definitely after I race, I want to do active recovery ride. And for me, and this is what Chris Carmichael taught me, was that your heart rate shouldn't be any higher than 70%. It's a 30 to 60 minute ride. And what he called it was cool. And I really like this because it really brings the concept home. And that's take your bike for a walk. So, hey, we're out there, we're racers and century riders and fitness riders, and we want to go out and hammer. And I know it can be really get to your mentality, seeing slower riders pass you while you're doing an active recovery ride. But these active recovery rides are going to get you a lot faster. So you really got to keep your discipline there. And taking your bike for a walk is a great analogy, because usually you want to go where you're feeling slow, and then take it down even another little notch below that. And that's about the level where you want this active recovery to happen. And what happens during active recovery is you're getting all that blood moving through your muscles that you use while you're cycling. And they're in there, and they're helping repair, and they're taking out waste. And all that blood getting into the muscles deeply really, really, really helps with your recovery. So there's going to be different times where you're going to use this. Like I said, after a race, maybe after a hard 3 days of training in a row, and during your recovery weeks, which we're going to talk about here next. And like I said, last week was my recovery week. I really look forward to my recovery weeks, let me tell you. And I work really hard during that 3 weeks so that I can take this recovery week and not feel guilty at all, and know that really this is where I'm going to get that critical adaptation from all that training stress I just put on for 3 weeks. So click here, see how good I am with slides. Let's just see if we can get rid of that bad boy. So anyway, here's the deal. When you're riding and you're having a recovery week, you need to make sure you got that proper hydration going as well. You're getting your rest. You're getting your proper amount of sleep. And then this is the time too where I'll go and take it even a little further, and I'll get a massage done. Now, either I'll go to a massage place and get that done, or I also have what's called a Fit Stick. And that's where you can do self-massage. So any kind of massage that you can do, whether it's you're going out and getting a professional one, or you're doing it yourself, is great, because that's going to help to get those muscles very supple and get rid of a lot of the adhesions of muscle that's in there, and a lot of that waste will get eliminated, and it just does you overall amount of good. Plus, it feels really good. And one of the other really important things about recovery weeks is it gives you that time to really recharge your mindset. Training hard it's hard on you mentally, and especially for us, masters racers who have busy careers. I mean, like my career right now is crazy, add on all this training that I'm doing, and there's a lot of mental stress going on. So during that rest week, that recovery week, it is a fantastic time to really get in and recharge your mindset, reaffirm your goals of what you're doing this hard training for to begin with, and know inside that this is when you're getting really strong, is when you're doing this recovery week. So a recovery week for me is Monday through Friday, where Monday I'll probably take completely off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm doing a 60-minute ride. You could do a little bit less, but it would be about a 60-minute ride, maybe even a little bit more as I get going through the season, maybe an hour and a half. And it'll be really easy. It'll be no higher than 70% of my max pulse. And I'll just be out there taking it easy. My cadence is probably a little bit lower. If you average about 95, in a recovery ride, you want to average about 90. If you average 90 normally, then, take it down about 5 RPMs. So anyway, here's our episode about recovery. I hope that really helps. If you've got any questions about recovery and how to do it, or I need to clarify anything that I said here, go ahead and just give me a comment in the comment section here at www.over50cycling.com, and I'll see you on the next episode.